Welcome to Friday, July 26, 2024. Your Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Wyoming State Parks. Why wonder about the outdoors in Wyoming? Explore the statewide interactive outdoor recreation wonder map to find your next adventure. Temperatures will be just a little bit cooler here in the coming days as deeper subtropical moisture will be overhead. This is going to lead to a couple of active days of thunderstorm activity today and tomorrow. Hopefully your crops, your yard, your garden will get rained on over the next couple of days. But not everybody will see rain, but many of you who do get underneath these showers and thunderstorms may produce some periods of very strong wind gusts, but also there could be some brief periods of heavy rain. So be ready for that. The peak chance of showers and thunderstorms in the Rockies and adjacent plains is today and Saturday. With that, will be a little more cloud cover. We'll take a few degrees off the heat today and tomorrow. Thunderstorms will be more into the Midwest. So as we get into the Dakotas, as we get into Nebraska, the Northwest Corn Belt, into Kansas, the plume of moisture by Sunday and Monday will be to our east. That will allow drier air back in. So we're going to have this uptick in thunderstorms. Then between Monday and Thursday of next week, we don't see much of anything happening. It's going to be pretty boring weather-wise as dry air comes in and we don't see much, but another surge of deeper subtropical moisture will come in about a week from today. So a week from today, next weekend and into the first few days of August, it does look like we could have several days of thunderstorms again. So the ebb and flow of thunderstorms this summer season will continue. The water vapor loop this morning shows that axis of moisture, it's taken all week. We started the week with it here. Now it's overhead. So the deeper moisture is moving into the Rockies and the adjacent plains, and it will be overhead today and tomorrow. Notice the winds aloft are starting to change. As we talked yesterday and the day before, that change in the wind direction is what was going to be helping us out with the smoke, and certainly that's been the case. When you take a look at the upper level pattern this morning, we have a low over northwest Saskatchewan. That's going to be continuing to head east. That is bringing rain to Alberta and those areas, hopefully over the fires. West to southwest winds aloft now coming into the Rockies, helping to push that subtropical plume over on top of us, as you can see with the blue arrow there. The latest smoke map, that notch yesterday that was here, is now here. So there's still some smoke and haze, but the punching, that southwest wind flow aloft, southwest to northeast, is pushing the thicker smoke now into the plain states and a little bit more across eastern Canada. Closer to the source region of the fires in the Pacific Northwest, you still have got some smoke, but where you really see the improvement is on the air quality monitors. Now, the air quality monitors, when you start to get into yellow, and certainly when you're into orange and red, is when you're looking at the worst air quality, where you're going to see the most smoke. Notice the yellow areas now have shifted east. We have this slot in the notch of a lot of green now coming on in. So air quality is going to be a lot better, except closer to the fires. The thicker smoke plume heads off to the east. That's how it's going to roll today, tomorrow, and into Sunday. And there's the subtropical moisture by late afternoon, lined up southwest to northeast across the region, and also north and south right along the Continental Divide. If we take a look at what we call the precipitable water in terms of inches, what you want to look for in these situations when you get into these deeper subtropical plumes is when you start to get near an inch or more of water in the column of air above you is when you can have some really heavy rain producing thunderstorms. So let's take a look at the areas that are purple and green. Those purple and green areas into yellow, that kind of go like this and then are bounded to the east, deepest over South Dakota, eastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, the Front Range of Colorado. Anywhere you're going to get purple, and especially where you're going to get these areas here, heavy rain producing thunderstorms are going to be a good bet, especially today. I think the risk is probably highest today for strong gusty winds and heavy rain with these storms, but to some extent Saturday as well. There's where the thunderstorm action will be by 6 p.m. today. The Storm Prediction Center's got some patches where we're going to see some of these thunderstorms that might get a little bit on the stronger side. No widespread severe. It's going to be strong wind gusts and very heavy rain and possibly some hail, probably of small size, but Sometimes you can get a lot of small hail in high volume that can cause some problems, so we'll need to watch that. Saturday looks like this, a similar situation of where the thunderstorms are going to be. The Storm Prediction Center highlights a little bit more of a severe risk for the Dakotas and into northwest Minnesota, general thunderstorms elsewhere. By Sunday, this is where the eastward shift is. There's still going to be thunderstorms over the Rockies, but mainly over Montana and Wyoming. The more concentrated thunderstorms will be out further east. Drier air moves into Colorado, northwest Arizona into the Great Basin right here. Drier air intrudes. That's what will cause the decrease in thunderstorm coverage. And there it is. So we got a lot of brown coming on in. This is by Tuesday of next week. So here's the brown. This will really limit thunderstorm activity here for sure. Now, the green and white areas, you're still going to have showers and thunderstorms. But the brown areas, for 3 to 4 days, you're just not going to see much. But by late next week and next weekend, this is by next Sunday, we've got a curl of blue here, another big patch of darker green. So by late next week and next weekend, this, just like what we're seeing now, rotates through slowly. The axis will like this. And this will probably be a more prolonged period of thunderstorm activity instead of just a couple of days, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days as we get into early August. And that'll be something we'll keep an eye on for you next week. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday.